Ian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So here's a new problem I've got. I've got many problems. Many problems. But the main one that's fucking doing my head in at the moment is I'm reading a lot of different things at the same time. A lot of history, a lot of economics, a little bit of geopolitics shit as well. And I'm a little bit all over the place. Like 1 minute I'll be fucking reading about fucking the CIA secret team, the Bay of Pigs, JFK. Next thing I know, I'll be on the Central Bank of Japan. Next thing I know, I'm fucking balls deep reading about William of Orange. And it turns out in 1688, England was taken over by the Dutch. They always say England hasn't been fucking invaded or overthrown since 1048, I think it is, when William the Conqueror, the Norman guy, came in and fucking sorted England out. Apparently it's been an unbroken run. And then you find out in 1688, this fucking William of Orange comes in from the Netherlands, fucking walking in with wooden clogs and shit. He comes in and overthrows King James II from the House of Stuart. And I guess I haven't looked that far into it because I had to go back to what was happening with the Japanese central bank in 1993. I was bouncing, but it's a little bit connected because the House of Stuart, King James II, was overthrown. Well, they say it had to do with religion and Catholicism and all that sort of shit. But if you dig a little deeper, apparently King James II from the House of Stuart refused to establish the Bank of England, which is basically the central bank. And so all the elite bankers of the time, the money people, invited fucking William the Orange to cruise in, and he just came in. There apparently wasn't even that much of a fucking fight because there was a lot of upper echelon support to get out King James. And so there was a bit of it was called the Glorious Revolution, 1688. Look at it. So apparently the bankers in the Netherlands sent William the Orange over, and the bankers in England, they wanted to start the Bank of England, the central bank, and the King James wasn't into it, so they brought this guy over, he took over, William of Orange came in, and 5 or 6 years later, the Bank of England was established. The reason it's kind of connected is because the Bank of Japan, which is the central bank of Japan, obviously, they pretty much completely destroyed the Japanese economy at its absolute peak, created a bubble to cause a crisis so they could implement some structural change. They wanted to take it from the very productive, very efficient Japanese system to the neoliberal, free market, unfettered capitalist system of the US. And they went into a 22-year recession after doing that. And the central bankers of the Bank of Japan were obviously taking orders. And if you trace everything back, if you read long enough, it sort of all stems back. This epoch stems back to about at least 1688, probably before that, when all these central banks started fucking taking control. But that's what the Japanese crash was in the 90s. They created this artificial bubble. This is what I mean. I'm fucking on William the Orange. Now I'm back at Japan. Now I'm artificial bubbles. I need a fucking linear line. I just need to focus on one thing and then move on from there. But there's so many fucking tangents. Anyway, the Bank of Japan was forcing fucking Japan's banks to increase lending to create this property bubble so they could manufacture a crisis. Basically, they were getting orders from the US, and I guess the US central bank gets orders from the Bank of England. I feel like it all stems back to the Bank of England still. Don't take my word on that, but that's the suspicion I'm getting. Anyway, that's what these central banks do. And the banks, they inflate these bubbles. And if you look around, where's the biggest bubble in the world at the moment? Australia. Australia's property market is the biggest bubble in human history. Biggest property bubble in human history. And it seems to me that they only ever do that for one reason, and that is to create an eventual crisis. Yes, some people get rich along the way, but the point is to create a crisis so you can bring in something new. And I guess it's the like CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, that are going to follow the next crisis. They'll suck all the money out of the system, and then, like, I think I've been saying this for like 3 years, but that was just on intuition. This is more on like history and facts. So I guess there's a crisis coming. There's crises coming everywhere. Don't worry about that. But that will be the playbook. They'll suck all the money out of the system. They'll cut off liquidity, they'll cut off lending and credit. Then they'll say there's no money in the system, productivity is going fucking downhill, recession, depression. You know what we've got? We've got the CBDC. I'm also starting to redevelop my theories on government printing money as well. It doesn't seem to be the cause of the problems. The cause of the problems seem to be just banks creating money out of thin air through lending. That's the main cause of credit creation. Anyway, I'm on a journey. It's a fucking wild journey, and I'll relay to y'all whatever I learn. Anyway, it hasn't been much so far, but it's interesting. Alright, that'll do it for tonight, and I'll see you the fuck later.